The Travelers Course offers short-term immersion programs for adults, from Madrid to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. Visit thetravelerscourse.com for more information. Welcome to the Past Tense series. This is episode 3, the present perfect. On the Past Tense series, we know that there are lots of different ways to talk about the past. In this series, we've already discussed the preterite, the imperfect. Today we'll see the present perfect, and for our last episode, the past perfect. The uses of the present perfect are actually made pretty easy for us because the present perfect in Spanish is used much like the present perfect in English. In English, the present perfect looks like this. We use have or has plus a past participle. Here are some examples. I have studied Spanish. Have studied is the present perfect. He has been to Venezuela. Has been is the present perfect. In English, we only have 2 conjugations of the verb have or has, which makes it pretty easy for us. Then we also have the past participle, which usually in English has an ed, but as you can see in the second example, not always. The present perfect refers to a time in an unspecified past. For example, he has been to Venezuela. We know that he has been to Venezuela in the past, but the time frame is unspecified. We don't know when he went, if it was recent or a long time ago. We just know that it happened at some point in the past. This is the truth in Spanish as well as in English. The first step for making the present perfect in Spanish is to use the verb haber, which is our equivalent in Spanish of the verb have or has, and then we use our participio pasado, or our past participle. So the first step is to conjugate the verb haber in the present tense. The present perfect gets its name from the use of the verb haber in the present tense. The conjugations mostly just have to be memorized, but they look like this. He, has, ha, hemos, habes, han. You can sort of remember that the top 2 conjugations, the ones that include me, I, yo, or nosotros, nosotras, use the letter E in their conjugations. E for yo, hemos for nosotros. So the conjugations with me use the letter E. All of the rest use the letter A. Tú, has, él o ella o usted, ha. Vosotros o vosotras, habéis. Ellos o ellas o ustedes, han. The second step is to form our past participle. The past participles are formed like this. First, we find the stem of our verb. We find the stem by removing the final 2 letters of an infinitive verb. So we'll take off either an AR, an ER, or an IR. Then we'll add ado or ido. We add ado to verbs that were originally AR endings. We add ido to verbs that were originally ER or IR endings. So let's look for an example at the verb estudiar. What's the stem going to be? Estudi. We've taken off the AR. So since estudiar is an AR verb, do we add ado or ido? That's right, we add ado. So our final past participle looks like this. Estudiado. What about the verb vivir? What's the stem of this verb? Viv. Do we add ado or ido? Our final product is vivido. How about comer? What's the stem? Com. Do we add ado or ido? Comido. It's important to remember that past participles do have an O at the end, and they kind of look like adjectives you might have seen elsewhere. However, these are not adjectives, and they don't change for a number or a gender. So it doesn't matter if I, as a female, say he estudiado, or my brother, as a male, says he estudiado. It won't change between the two of us. There are some irregular past participles. For example, abrir becomes abierto. Decir becomes dicho. Escribir, escrito. Hacer, hecho. Poner, puesto. Ver, visto. Volver, vuelto. These are just verbs you have to memorize more or less. They sort of sound the same with the dos at the end of many and chos at the end of others. But for the most part, you just kind of have to memorize. And this is not an extensive list. There are others, but this is a list using many of the verbs I find I use frequently in Spanish speech. Let's practice. In this activity, choose the correct conjugation of the verb haber. Pause the video, and when you're ready to check your answers, press play. Let's check our answers. Yo no he visto esa película, pero mis amigos me han dicho que es buena. In number 1, he is the conjugation for yo. Han is the conjugation for ellos or mis amigos. 2. Nosotras hemos vivido con una familia en España. Nosotras. Hemos is the conjugation for nosotros y nosotras. Número 3. Lindsay ha aprendido mucho español porque se ha quedado en Ecuador mucho tiempo. For number 3, Lindsay is the subject for the first conjugation of haber, ha aprendido, and also for the second, se ha quedado. Notice that when we use a reflexive verb like quedarse, the se goes all the way in front of the present perfect. Número 4. ¿Y tú has viajado a un país hispanohablante? Has is the conjugation for the subject tú. Let's practice some more. In this activity, you've been given the conjugation of the verb haber, and you need to supply the correct verb in the past participle. Choose a verb from the list at the right, and then conjugate it into the past participle. Pause the video, and when you're ready to check your answers, press play. Let's check our answers. Yo he escrito una novela sobre mi vida. Número 2. Nosotros no hemos comido en ese restaurante. 3. Han abierto una nueva tienda que vende maletas y bolsas. 4. Has mejorado tu español. 5. Viola ha estado enferma. Did you catch the 2 irregular participles? Número 1. Escribir es irregular. Escrito. Número 3. Abrir es irregular. Abierto. Ser and ir are usually highly irregular verbs, but believe it or not, their past participles are regular. For ser, we take off the er ending and add ido, sido. For ir, we take off the ir, well, that leaves us with nothing, and we add ido, we end up with just ido. So, if we wanted to say he has been, we would say ha sido. And if I wanted to say you have gone, I would say has ido. That's all for today. Come back next time for our video on the past perfect. You can find it all at thetravelerscourse.com/blog.